Hi there, this is Jacob Nash. This is a review of Module 47. Yeah, get ready for some kind of boring stuff. Cognitive development. What is this? Development in thinking, remembering, and knowing. Okay, so schemas. Schemas. What is that? These are basically just folders in our brain that organize things. Okay? So if you haven't realized already, Bruce Almighty is one of my favorite movies. So that's what you can think of. Different folders. They organize things. So a kid might be told that something's a cat, and then they're like, okay, now they create a schema. It's like anything that looks like that is cat. Assimilation is when we're like, oh, it's like that. I'll put it in the same folder. So they see another cat, they're like, okay, that's a cat. That's assimilation. Accommodation is when they realize it's not that. So I'll put that in a new folder. So, for example, a kid might say, that's a cat about a dog, and then a parent might say, oh no, that's a cat. And then the kid's like, oh, okay. And then they create a new schema. That's accommodation. All right, this is as you can see, there's not that many slides on this slideshow, but this is an important slide and it has a lot on it. So just saying. So Piaget's theory, remember he decided that we can get some new abilities. He agrees with stages, and he's like, as you get older, you're able to do different things. So the first one is sensor and motor. Sensor and motor. That's a word that I hate. But that's his first stage. So you might not like it, but you better bite it. He said that in 1991, 11 years after he died. So this is experiencing, well, I don't need to say these dumb things that they say. But basically it's age 0 to 2, and you can get things like stranger anxiety, and then object permanence. What is that? That's when a baby, well, not necessarily a baby, but a kid realizes that something is still there even though they can't see it. So, for example, if someone's doing like peekaboo or something, when they cover their face, the baby knows that the person's still behind it. They're not like, ah, it's actually gone. That's object permanence. They realize things are still there when you can't see them. Pre-operational. That's the second one. That's from age 2 to 6. They might start to play pretend, and egocentrism. So egocentrism, that is not like something that means they're full of themselves. So that's something like a common misconception. But what it actually means is that they don't have the ability to see other points of view. So they're like, it's all me for people age 2 to 6. That's egocentrism, but it's not because they're full of themselves. It's because they don't understand that other people matter. All right. Then age 6 to 11, that is concrete operational. This is where they can have better math skills and also conservation skills. So conservation skills, what is that? You see these 2 glasses of water? I don't really know if this is the case for these, but pretend like the same amount of water is in both of them, but it might not look like that. But that's conservation, where they realize that things that are shaped differently might have the same thing in them. Another example is if a kid is given, one kid is given a big cookie and another kid is given 2 small cookies, but it's the same as the big cookie. The kid with the small cookies, they might say, hey, they got a big cookie, they got more than me, when they have the same amount, but it's just 2 smaller cookies. So if they said that, then they wouldn't have conservation skills. If they realized that it was the same, then that means they do have those skills. Theory of mind is also something to consider. That's more of like a pre-operational thing, but It's when a kid does something because they know what's going to happen if they do it. So, for example, my little brother, if when I was little, and obviously he was even younger, I would, if I ever did something that made like my parent mad, he would be like, "I love you, mommy." He would say that, so they'd be like, "Everyone is being rude except for him," and like he always knew that if he said that, he would like get like a back pat or whatever. So that's theory of mind. You're doing something because you know what's going to happen. Um, so it's kind of just doing things to get what they want. All right. Age 12 to adulthood. That's formal operational. This is when they can have some abstract logic and they have some moral reasoning. They're like, okay, that's not right. That is right. This isn't, in my opinion, always the case. Sometimes to me, it seems like that it's like age 25 when that's something that people have. All right. Questions. Create an example of object permanence. A father hides behind a curtain as a game with his child. Because of object permanence, the child knows that the father didn't just disappear. He is behind the curtain. During which Piagetian, I didn't make these questions, so Piagetian stage of cognitive development would mastery of conservation tasks occur? Concrete operational. When would egocentrism occur? That pre-operational. Create an example of conservation. Oh, sorry, that's kind of small. A man stretches out one rubber band in his left hand and leaves another unstretched in his right hand. A child watching using conservation knows that the rubber bands are the same and one isn't bigger than the other. Create an example of accommodation. A child thinks that a cello, from what he remembers, is a violin. His mother corrects him and tells him that it's a cello. As a result, his current understanding schema is adapted into the new information. What do modern critics of John Piaget's cognitive theory consider flaws? I didn't talk about this, but it might be a good thing to know. They say that Piaget underestimates infant and overestimates the adolescent. They also claim that development is more continuous than Piaget seemed to think. Which stage of Piaget's cognitive theory states? Oh, sorry, I just messed something up. States that we have potential for mature, moral reasoning, formal operational. There you go. That's it. Thanks for watching.